Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tina. This video, I want to give a summary about the maintaining state. We have the ways, of maintaining state we have talked about so far. That's it. Let's head over to our OneNote. Okay. Here. Okay. There are 6 ways to maintain state. Oh my God, so loud. This is another laptop, and 3 are maintained by the web container, and 3 are different ways which are stored in the browser, or which are manually maintained by ourselves, which are developers. Let's talk about one by one. Okay. So first, I will talk about the 3 which are maintained by the web container. Web container maintained, and the total has 3. The first one, 3 scope. I think you guys already have idea. First is what? Request scope. Second is session. Third one is application. Application, or sometimes probably called context. Application context, context application context. Okay, that reminds me like the song. I have an apple, I have a pie. Okay, anyway, that's the thing. Request scope is thread safe. Okay, and every request coming from the client is treated as a new request. Okay, so everything you set in previous request, all the attributes you set in previous request, or parameters you cannot set. Okay, you can just retrieve, right? They cannot be carried to the new request. That's why when we're using redirect, which is if from one to get or to post, you redirect to another servlet or GSP, everything is brand new. Okay, because they are treated as a new request. And Tomcat is a multi-threaded container, server. And when a request comes, every request is gonna associate its own thread. So when you put a thing in this request, it's gonna be thread safe, because no other client can access the same request at the same time. So it's thread safe. Okay. And when using forward, it's a different case. When we're using forward, it's gonna be when you set attribute in this request, it's gonna be carried to your forwarded servlet or GSP. Okay. And how to using request? How to using request to have some scope? You just using request.set attribute, request.add attribute. Okay, and that attribute, the value can be object, and it can be primitive type, and it can be reference type. Okay. And next one is a session. Session is a very, very, very important state, because we want to treat a client, which we want to recognize a sequential of requests is coming from the same client, right? And how to maintain that is using the session scope. Okay, and the session scope in web container, it is maintained through HTTP session. When you put some attribute in HTTP session using like a session.set attribute, and the web container will start maintaining the session scope. What web container do is, first it will create a the Tomcat. Okay, it will have a JSession ID, and this JSession ID is uniquely used to identify different user. and this session ID will be added into cookie. Okay, and when you reply, and web container will automatically add a JSession ID in the HTTP response header called the set cookie. Do you remember? And you're gonna have a JSession ID and have a unique like string. Okay, and then when a browser make a new request, the cookie will be automatically added inside the HTTP request header. And so when it goes to Tomcat, the web container, it will based on this session ID uniquely identify the state which is stored on the server side. Okay, so whatever attribute you using HTTP session to add, like you using HTTP session dot add attribute, the key and the value pair, they are stored on web container. They are stored on the web container, and the key value pair are uniquely associated with the JSession ID. So each client, they will have their own collection of the key value pair. Okay, that's a session. Okay, application scope. Okay, server. Sorry. I haven't finished the session scope. Okay, sorry, I forgot one thing. Session scope, is it a thread safe? No, it's not a thread safe. Okay, because you can have the request come at the same time. Okay, even from the same user, right? Even from the same user, it doesn't. It still can happen. It might have 2 or 3 requests come from the same user at the same time. So it's not a thread safe session. Okay. Not thread safe. The only thread safe is the request scope. Application scope. How to add this scope is maintained by Servlet context. This who ask you question? Who create Servlet context object? Web container. Okay, so when we deploy the application into Tomcat, okay, into our web container will create the instance of Servlet context, and you just need to using a set attribute to add some attribute in application scope, and which is available everywhere, which means global. Okay, and it's also not thread safe. Okay, so these 3 scope, okay, are maintained by web container. In our case, it's Tomcat. Okay, there are others like we talked about cookie. You can also using cookie to maintain the state, but this part you have to manually by yourself, developer. Okay, you add a cookie, and browser will automatically when the browser make a request, it will see if I have a cookie available under the current domain, and if it has, it will automatically add into the HTTP request. And the cookie is stored where? Cookie is stored in browser. And if you don't set the expire date, which is a maximum age, by default is when you close the browser, the cookie will be removed automatically. And if you do want to remove cookie manually, what you can do is you create a new cookie with the same name as the one you want to remove, and then you set that new created cookie maximum age to be 0. And then when the request is done, the cookie will be removed because you are using the same name. It's gonna kind of like an override. It's gonna be removed. Okay, so cookie you can also use to maintain the state, and but this part has to be by yourself if you want to have a conversational state. Okay. Sixth one is hidden fields. I also talked about. Hidden fields is also this one is maintained by developer. For every form, every page you're trying to go, you have to have a hidden fields, which is very tedious to do. Okay, like using input type is hidden that one. Okay, not very good. And the other one is what is the other one? URL rewriting. URL rewriting means every URL you are go letter, you will append unique identifier. You will append by yourself unique identifier. I checked the Servlet API. I didn't find it has an API to just wrap the URL. I didn't see. Probably I missed something. But just remember, for every URL and goes back to the browser, or you click a button or you submit a request, you will append the unique identifier, like something like for every href. You want to go to login or something, or login or list. Let me give a better name. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Has some problem. Like list employees. Okay. And this one is not. Okay, you probably using this way, like id equals ab86ef12, like this way. And this part is added by you manually, and everything is added by you manually. And in Tomcat, I remember, okay, there's the one is rewriting, yes, like this, using this one is called what? Semicolon? Is this one called semicolon? I couldn't remember. Okay, I'll check later. Haven't speak. I haven't spoke. Okay, English for very long time. Okay. Really very long time. I just recorded the 40 videos. Okay. GS session ID, like ID like FMH25GI, like this. For every URL, you have to append the unique identifier by yourself. Okay, so that's it. The 6 ways for maintaining the state. Okay, just based on what your request, okay, or requirement, and then you choose the way you like to do. Okay, the most common one is the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, hidden fields, it can be used like when we solve the cross-site request forgery. It's very, very useful, and probably for some other cases we may use that. But for maintaining a state, normally we were using 1, 2, 3, 4, the options given. That's good enough. Okay, so that's all the videos we have covered about the maintaining the state or state management. And from next video, I will go and cover JSP. Okay, so see you in next video. Hope you enjoy. Okay, and if you like my video, click like. Thank you so much. Bye bye.